All right, welcome to a very special Bayou Time. I'm Martin Falls, and I want to sort of catch you up with Terrebonne General Health Systems. So we brought on the CEO. Let's get a shot of her right now, Miss Phyllis Peoples, and she is the president and CEO of Terrebonne General Health Systems. And first of all, welcome to Bayou Time. Good to see you again.
Thanks, Martin. Thanks for always inviting me.
And it's just so much to talk about. And I said it before, without a hospital system in a community, the community will die. And that's been proven time and time again. But I want to give a little background for people. Her ascension into the top spot did not come by accident. And let me make sure I get this right. Is it 21 years now?
It's close.
Okay.
I don't want to age myself, but yeah.
21 years. And I think the average nationally is about 7. So you surpassed that by quite a bit. So congratulations on that.
Thanks, Martin.
So let me ask, so you went to USL. You got a bachelor degree at USL. Then you got your master's at Tulane in healthcare administration, correct?
I did. While I was at USL, we ended up moving to Georgia. So in Georgia, I went to graduate school twice, and then we moved home. And like many of the people we want to advocate to come home, I was the one that said no. But we did, and it was the best move that we made to come back.
Yeah.
And so then I went to Tulane for my doctorate.
Yep, no doubt about it. So, and then you handled the nursing department. What is it called? Nursing administrator, or what was it called? How long was that?
That, I was the VP of nursing.
VP, okay.
I was a VP over nursing, and then I did that for a couple of years, and then I was the COO for a couple of years,
Right.
and then I was the CEO for 20 plus years.
I never can remember all these titles that everybody gives.
All it means is you just do a lot.
All right, so let's talk about this, and we're going to get into certainly Ms. Peoples and her staff won the Large Business of the Year at the Chamber of Commerce banquet, which was held recently. And I want to bring her on, not just to talk about that, because there's so many people that work there, and it's a large group. And I guess my first question, before we even roll in B-roll on the award, is that where the healthcare administration masters comes in? How do you manage that many people? That's a task.
Well, you surround yourself with very talented people. Nobody does anything alone, and I fully recognize that. But we have, from executives to our board, to our staff, to our physicians, they're amazing. I've always said that every time I've been on here. It's a humbling experience. I truly believe that. When times are tough, you do take the lead, and you take the lead every day. But some days you let other people lead, and some days you lead, and many days they continue the philosophy of what is set and the culture of the organization. And overall, people are very proud to be in healthcare, and they want to take care of people. So it's a very gratifying career and move.
I call it road bumps sometimes. People hear me say road bumps a lot on TV, but Hurricane Ida was no road bump. It was a road block. But y'all found a way through hard work, determination, grace of God, perseverance. We could use all kind of words to describe it. And when I try to put myself back there mentally, I block myself from going there, because we all know what we went through during those times. But through COVID and through Hurricane Ida, so knock on wood, I got wood under this desk. Can you have two back-to-back things of that nature ever again? That was freakish, wasn't it?
I think it was unique. I do. I've been in healthcare, I will age myself, since 1986. And in all of that time, I was a nurse, for a bit, and a critical care nurse. And then we moved here and there, and then we came back here in about 95. And over that period of time, I don't know anybody had experienced anything like COVID and Ida. We've all done hurricanes, and we've all done illnesses. But I have to say, back to back, it's been a unique couple of years. But again, couldn't have managed it without, again, the people who were more than willing to dedicate themselves. I could start with COVID. COVID was something we had never seen, and no one had ever seen. But I am so proud of the team that we have, because again, we put certain physicians in a unique situation that they were going to care for the protocols and the things that COVID was bringing and stay as current as anyone, and would relay that information to the rest of our medical staff and to our team. And so people were sick. It's not like today where you might get COVID and a lot of it's community-based. It truly was a hospital-based initiative where people passed away. And it was tough times, and our staff didn't back down from taking care of them. They were cautious, we were protective, but they still stood up and said, I got this, because it's what I do. And that is an awesome feeling to know that people were willing to do that along with ourselves. I won't ever ask anybody to do something I'm not willing to get in front of, but that is very admirable. And as soon as they start to prepare, that's kind of their exhaustion and things, next thing you know, we got a hurricane coming, and that became another unique challenge in and of itself.
Let me ask you, because y'all always been about community. One of the toughest parts of COVID was not being able to go in and physically see your loved one. Before I start morphing into the very positive things that happen, sometimes you got to look at the past to get to the future. But was that the most trying thing you ever experienced in trying to navigate? Because people always want to see their loved ones, but that was a very tough time, wasn't it?
It was a very tough time. It pulled on your heartstrings, and there were many things we put into place so that, we could hope and help families understand. But during such a trying time, we didn't want, it was a very communicable disease, and it was passed along, and you didn't want to put at risk other people to infect them or their other loved ones that would end up. Because COVID picked and chose who it liked or didn't like, and some people would do okay, and some people did not at all. But we had Zoom calls, we had nurses. Oh my gosh, the nursing care was amazing, because they made sure to try and have calls with family. I know it doesn't replace you sitting at the bedside, but these people were in severe isolation. The doctors came day and night, and I do relate. This is kind of a little heart-tugging for me, because I do relate not only in my position that you couldn't see your family member, but my own mother got COVID, and my own mother passed away from it. Yeah. And I have siblings and people and myself, and you couldn't be with her during that time, but every day you got a call from the doc, or you got a Zoom call, or you got to see and have conversation, and they kept you apprised. But is it an emotional time? Absolutely. Was it hard? Absolutely. Did you watch people try and take the place, and I don't know if that's the right word, take the place, but fill in for family who couldn't be there, and assure they were part of it? Absolutely. And so, yeah, that was an emotional, hard time.
I watched, we were bringing doctors through the back door. Y'all were very transparent through the whole thing. We'd bring doctors on. And of course, everybody was sort of learning as you went, but I watched some of the younger generation doctors. Nothing against the older generation, I'd consider myself in that group now, but I saw the morphing, and I saw the younger doctors looking for the wisdom of the older doctors, but the younger doctors had some new protocols, for lack of a better word. That was a pretty good marriage, wasn't it?
It was an amazing marriage, and I know we had on Dr. Sutton, and we had Dr. Lorio and Dr. Adams, and believe me, it's not minimized to just those few. It took a team, and they just happened to be some of the front people that were there to assure, because of the skill set that they are, is, pulmonology, anesthesia. COVID impacted your heart and your respirations and infectious disease and all of those things. And because of that, they became some of the front runners in that event, along with, of course, all the other medical staff members that we would need. But we tried to minimize the amount of activity that was in and out of the room. And so everybody was consulted and they were communicated with, and so they got amazing good care. And if you compare other places, I think we were extraordinarily streamlined and high-skilled in how we handled it and minimized. It gave great patient care, but it minimized the risk to our staff.
One thing I want to address is the fact that, and I heard the rumors from the desk during those times, you hear everything at News Central, but then you don't run with everything you hear because a lot of things that are going on social media are not true. But some are true, some are not true. You'll never shut your doors. You'll always providing services in a different way. You had the mark, but I want to dispel that rumor again. You'll never close your doors.
We never closed our doors, and I think part of that rumor, definitely at COVID, we took anything, everything. We helped the smaller organizations. Our docs even gave in services to some of those less acute, those hospitals that were able to take some of those higher acuity that couldn't transfer. So whatever we needed to do, they were on staff or available for that. But even in Ida, we never closed. We had ER services. Our services continue to go up and up each and every day because our staff were showing up in droves. And so, as you know, not our outlying areas got as much of a direct hit, but Houma was a direct hit, and they could say Category 4 all day long. Mm-hmm. It was a 5.
I agree with
I'm
you.
telling you, it was a 5. And it may bank different in the insurance world, but in living through this world, it felt really strong.
It was a 5 plus. I mean, 180 mile an hour sustained winds for 6 or 7 hours, and y'all are hop, skip, and a jump away. And the higher the building, the more wind. So who knows what y'all were getting at Terrebonne General. I want to morph into this. We'll talk briefly about it, but obviously the award that y'all won this year, and we'll talk about why y'all won the award, but to be recognized by the entire community. Now that y'all have, I don't want to use the word settled down. Nobody's ever settled down after Ida or COVID, but now that things maybe normalizing a little bit, y'all were honored with a big award. That had to touch you quite a bit.
Look, we were very, very excited about the opportunity. We're excited about the award because to me, the award just signifies the hard work that all of our staff do each and every day and the dedication of, like I said, our medical community, the overall community. It is our job to care for this community and one we take very seriously. And, I haven't been there forever, but 20-something years. It has been entrusted to me to help, and it is a service I use and a hospital I use, and we are the largest healthcare provider for our community. Mm-hmm. And we will continue to be that and everything else, and we're very engaged in this community. And so we just want to say thanks to the community for voting that and recognizing what all we're able to do to give back.
They won the large business of the year, but if we could come back to the frontal shot of me, I want to hold this up real quick to the camera, and we can morph into the picture y'all have in the studio. But Phyllis, there you are, featured on a magazine, and it's a big article. Tell me a little bit about this.
It was a surprise to me too, Martin. It was very much noted that they were looking at trusted leaders in healthcare. And they did an article, and then they informed us that Terrebonne General, does some unique and amazing things and that we were going to be featured on the cover. So quite an honor and a surprise, but it was amazing.
It's always good to see people I went to school with, although you were a couple of years younger, but when I saw
many years younger.
Yeah, when I see everybody featured on these magazines, I'm going, hey, that's pretty good stuff. I've often heard different adjectives or way to announce people's abilities. Powerhouse would be one that I've heard, what y'all do for the community. A lot of people think Terrebonne General is just involved in health care. That's true. That's their number one priority. But I always said it again. You got to keep the medical system in the community. Y'all are in the community everywhere. Everywhere you go, you see a donation of some sort, a tent, employees. It's a way of life for y'all now.
Very much. I think people still understand the adjectives of the past, that we are healthcare in a building, and we're not. It is our job to care for our community, and that's done in a variety of ways. And so that may be whether we're helping at a sporting event. It may be that we're helping in the school system. It may be that we help educate some of our teenagers for sudden impact or do concussion testing, or that we're in the school system for the STEM program, or we help the public schools or the private schools, the elementary schools. Those are our future of tomorrow. We need to invest in that. We're part of Fletcher, and we gave different donations to help educate, again, some of those leaders that we'll have tomorrow that want to be in healthcare. Nichols. We're all over the community because we don't want to just invest when you're sick. That's not what we do. We're called a health care facility. We capitalize on health, not illness. And we take care of you when you're sick, but if we can help prevent you getting sick, we will be moving forward on a wellness center that you can see the signs are up over there by the roundabout, that you can see there, and in the sports park, and several other initiatives that we'll be kind of moving forward with. But again, our community, our health, our people, and that's what we're trying to signify.
As we've got about 3 minutes left of the segment, you mentioned that it's not just in the building. Yes, that's a good way to describe it because the tentacles are all over. So how do you get all those employees to embark on that? And when they're out there, there's an enthusiasm. So they have to buy into the program, and really buy-in might be a bad thing because they're already that type of personality that sort of wants to do it, don't they?
They do, and again, I always tell them that Terrebonne General is not the bricks and mortar of the building, it's the people within it. And how you push who we are and what we are is exactly who they are and what they are. And so whether you're helping in the community, you're seen as their healthcare provider. And so when they come in, that's the trust they have. People are trusting us to take care of them at their most vulnerable time. And so they want to see a friendly face across from them. But they also want to see it when they feel good. They want to see your children. They want to see you at events. They know all of our employees, or all of us, all have children who are part of this community. And if you can't teach by example, meaning to our own families, how do you go ahead and take care of families? So it's a big part of who we are and what we do.
Well, I want to congratulate Terrebonne General on a big award, but I also want to close with this. A lot of you see Phyllis as the CEO, and she's a very good businesswoman, and she runs a major organization. But I got to tell you, she's got a good sense of humor. I remember that sense of humor all the way back to high school. Every now and then, now you can't show it every day when you're running I can't do it on the news desk every day, but when you get home, I guess every now and then, you probably like a good laugh, don't you?
I was raised with people who knew my dad. That's all I can say.
Yeah. The Nook of the North.
Yeah, my dad was Oliver LeBlanc, and my maiden name was LeBlanc. And if you weren't raised with him, given a laugh every day, then you didn't know him. And so, yeah, we do. He blessed us with a very good sense of humor and sometimes a colorful one. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I remember him at the duck camp, and she is absolutely right. He nicknamed me Nook of the North. I'll never forget that.
And you still have it today.
I forget where it came from, but he was a very funny guy. But congratulations. Great job being honored. Great job being on the magazine. And I know you do a lot of forums and everything. And keep the spirit going, and wonderful job.
Thank you for having us, Martin. We appreciate it as always.
All right, there you go. Phyllis Peoples, the CEO and president of Terrebonne General Health Systems. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with a lot more right here on Bayou Time, so don't go away.